Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to each of our witnesses for joining us today. And I think all of us know that we need to look at how we can preserve and protect Social Security, not just for current retirees, but also for people nearing retirement and for generations to come. If we do nothing, the Social Security Trust Fund for Retirement will be depleted in 2034, which is currently estimated to result in a 21% cut in benefits. This committee has a responsibility to make real reforms to ensure that doesn't happen. But as our nation recovers from a pandemic, it's critical now, more than ever, that Congress and this committee focus on making sure that these reforms work right without devastating tax hikes that would punish families. The pandemic has shown for many, especially for lower income workers, there's not much in the paycheck after taxes have been taken out. Couple that with rising inflation, and this will only make a bad situation worse for so many families. While some here in Washington would like to dismiss the news about inflation, the fact is that almost 90% of Americans say they're now paying more for everyday goods, ranging from groceries to gas. That matters to hardworking Kansans. When the payroll tax collection was put on pause, some people were concerned that it would be the end of Social Security as we know it. A year later, the Social Security system is still providing that valuable benefit. This proves that we can secure benefits without raising taxes. Instead of proposing tax hikes, we should focus on targeted, effective, bipartisan policies that will improve and strengthen Social Security. There are many efforts to improve Social Security by Republicans. I hope my colleagues across the aisle will work with us on these important efforts to help the most vulnerable. One example where I believe we can find common ground is the issue of claiming benefits at the time of a loved one's death. Currently, widows are not eligible for survivor benefits until the date they apply, with a short 6-month grace period. I became aware of the situation with one of my family members' personal situation. When facing with the devastating loss of a loved one, the first thing on your list isn't to call Social Security Administration. I'm introducing legislation to fix this. I think widowed individuals should be able to claim their survivor benefits from the date their loved one passed away, regardless of when they're able to file the paperwork to claim it. I think this and many other needed bipartisan reforms should be taken up immediately. We need to work together to secure the future of this program rather than stalling needed reform. Our goal should be to prioritize the many different reforms and modernization proposals that are out there on both sides of the aisle without burdening Americans with more taxes. I look forward to working with my colleagues to strengthen Social Security and create a lasting change for future generations of Americans. Mrs. McDonald, thank you for sharing your story. I wanted to ask you how it was to work with the Social Security after your husband passed away. It must have been a difficult time for you and your family. I'll bet that contacting the government for benefits was not the forefront item on your mind. What do you think about the idea of allowing more time to apply for benefits, and would that have helped you?
Well, yes, allowing the benefits to be given to like the widow, because I have a hard time, because when I went to the Social Security office, they asked me how old I was, and I have to prove it. I have to go to, they needed my baptismal certificate or my birth certificate. That means I have to contact the Philippines for that, to be able to get that. So it took several months for me before I was able to get the first check for my survivor benefit.
Thank you. Mrs. Lopez, I'd like to ask you a similar question. What do you think about the idea of giving widows more time to apply for the benefits after the death of the spouse? Would that help?
Yes. They mean more money. They allow me to be more dependent and relax, and I'm able to pay my things like fix my car, my clothes, pay my rent, everything. I don't have to worry about it.
Right. Well, thank you, and thank you to all of our witnesses for coming today and talking about how real Americans get impacted with the policies that are out there, and talking about different ideas that we can help to improve that. With that, I yield back, Mr. Chairman.